Well, good morning, everybody. This is a slightly different video for me than from my snake videos, but this is another one of my hobbies. This is a 1986 Chevy Corvette. Had this car for 18 years or so. I think I got it in 1998. I just decided to make this video. It's kind of been a project car the last few years. Had a bunch of stuff wearing out on it and things like that. So I just been replacing it just so I could drive it every summer, and then it seemed like something else would break by the fall and I'd have to fix that the next summer or spring, and then something else would wear out. So this year, after the radiator failed last year, I took it to work for the first time this spring, and the clutch quit working. It has a Nash 4+3 manual transmission, and first time I drove it to work and home that night, I could hardly shift it. After looking at it, it seemed like or after getting it up in the air like this, it seemed like the slave cylinder had gone out of it or was leaking. While I was doing that or researching that area, they talked about if you replace the slave cylinder for the clutch, you should probably replace the master cylinder. The master cylinder was where you see that white piece of tape. So that's been removed. The slave cylinder's been removed. And then during that process of taking the front wheel off the car and everything, I noticed one of the brake lines was cracked. And after kind of pulling on it a little bit and was looking at it, it looked like brake fluid was leaking out of it. So I made the decision to put the car up on jacks for the summer and do a major overhaul of it instead of just fixing little things here and there, just to get it running again. So what I decided to do was I was going to replace all the brake lines all the way around, and not the metal ones, but the flexible rubber ones. During that process of doing that, I noticed that other components were wearing out, obviously from dry rot or just from age. The car's 30 years old. So that's where you see the car in the state it is now. I decided to tear out almost the entire suspension, front and back. This obviously is the driver's side front. Driver's side back. And then there's the passenger side. Again, this work is continuing right now. And then lastly is the passenger side front. Took all the control arms out, all the bushings out of the various components. The tie rod ends will be replaced. I still have them on. You can see them here. They're still on so that when I replace them, I can put them back in roughly the same spot. I've been doing a ton of cleaning. You can see this is the knuckle for this side of the car. It was completely covered in grease and everything, so I spent a lot of time cleaning each component up. Also, an example of some of the parts I've cleaned up are, here's the calipers for the front of the car. I've taken them out, scrubbed them up. They still need some more work in between these fins to get all the dust in that out, but I'm going to paint them. And then as part of this, I've also decided to rebuild the calipers. Sorry about that, I had to stop. Had some people come up. But as I was saying, that's the front calipers I'm going to rebuild. You can see I have the piston out of them already and everything. Here's the bracket, some of the bracketry that came off the lower control arm. You can see the old master slave cylinder, or master clutch cylinder sitting back there. As part of this also, I'm going to be replacing the rotors all the way around. New brake pads, obviously. In here in this box is some of the upper and lower control arms. You can see I took them to where I work and cleaned them up and polished them up good. We'll put new bushings and everything in them. There's some parts for the front calipers again. The shocks are going to stay for the front. They're good. The back's getting everything pretty much new. Again, I cleaned up the knuckle back here. This was all dirt and rusted and crudded up. Cleaned up the caliper mount. Again, here's the calipers for the back brakes. I haven't removed the pistons from them yet, but I have cleaned them up. Again, they need a little more work before I can paint them. And the rear spring's been removed. The big composite spring has been removed from the back. That will be replaced. The shock is out. That will be replaced. These are the spring holders. I got new rubber bushings for them. Those will be replaced. This is the brake. One of the reasons I tore the whole thing apart was to replace these brake lines. So that's one of them there. Another problem with this car is the emergency brake doesn't do anything. So this is the cable that connects to the emergency brake mechanism on this side. Got the same on the other side, so part of this is to diagnose what's wrong with the parking brake, if it's back here or if it's up in the handle in the front of the car. But maybe I should have filmed this a little earlier as I was taking the car apart, but what I'll do now is do more videos as certain things go back together. One of the first things that's going to be done is the trailing arms are going to be put back on in the back here. Here they are, cleaned up. Let's get them over there. There you can see them. There they are, cleaned up, nice and polished up, nice clean aluminum with the new bushings put in, urethane bushings. Oh, they'll be one of the first things going back in the car. I think that's all I got for now. Like I said, we'll take more videos as I start putting things back together, and we'll go from there. Hope you enjoy, and it should be a good trip. Thanks.